as we kick off this most holy week, I was really disappointed. And I usually don't really care about Saturday Night Live. I don't watch it. I don't stay up that late, just to be honest. But I do see the clips the day after. And they kicked off what they call the cold open, the beginning of the show, mocking Easter and trying to make it funny and hit Donald Trump. Now, because of these copyright things that they go after people for, I'm not going to share the whole clip. I did post some on my social media if you want to see it. But I'll just show you some of the screenshots. It's disgusting. And I'm not like, they make fun of, in a very personal and mean way, President Trump and people on the right. I get that. But this was a step too far. It like is mocking Jesus and Easter. And I got to be honest with you, if there wasn't enough of a reason not to watch it in the first place. But I want to take this a step further. If I'm at the White House this week, I'm going to ask people from NBC, do they agree with this? Because every time someone on the right says something, everyone has to answer for it, don't they? Well, why shouldn't people at NBC have to answer for this show? Do they agree that that was appropriate? What does Garrett Hake, the White House correspondent who loves to troll President Trump, what does he think? What does Kristen Welker think? But they're not going to get asked the same way everyone on the right has to account for every single thing that President Trump does. But maybe they should. Maybe they should have to answer for whether that's funny and acceptable. But it's funny because aside from the cold open, there was this other clip making fun of the popular show White Lotus. But instead of calling it White Lotus, they called it White POTUS. Get it? President of the United States, POTUS. That's his little acronym there. So they did this skit on White POTUS. And they had a fake Trump and a fake other people. And the funny part is there's an actress that's in White Lotus. I will admit that I have not seen this season, so I'm not entirely sure I can familiarize myself with all of these people or acknowledge them. But there's a star in the current season. Her name is Amy Lou Wood. And they mocked her. And she literally, there's a story that says the 31-year-old actress posted to her Instagram that she found the sketch comedy show's portrayal of her by Sarah Sherman, I'm not sure who, I assume that's a cast member, to be in poor taste. Amy Lou Wood, the British breakout star of The White Lotus season 3, said Saturday Night Live has apologized after unkindly parroting her during the show. In the pre-taped sketch dubbed The White POTUS, the NBC series spoofed Mike White's hit series, swapping characters from the Thailand set third season with President Donald Trump, his family members of his cabinet, Justin Austin Johnson, played by Trump, standing in for Jason Isaacs' Timothy Radcliffe character. But in any case, I think it's funny or sad that they apologized to this White Lotus actress for how they parodied her, but they're not apologizing to the millions of Christians that hold this week so sacred, because it is the most holy week of our religion. It's pathetic. That's who they are. It's not funny. I get jokes. I laugh at jokes. I make jokes. To quote Lloyd Benson during his debate with Dan Quayle, I know jokes. Jokes are a friend of mine. That's not funny. Saturday Night Live. Because it wasn't. And anyway, it's pathetic when these guys go that far and no one speaks out against it, because, you know, the folks at NBC, well, they're not going to say anything. And the rest of the folks in the media probably did think it was funny, albeit in poor taste. Anyway, I couldn't believe the show on Friday with the two authors, Amy Parnas and Jonathan Allen, on that book fight. The views from over the weekend, unbelievable. The stories, unbelievable. Obviously, read the book. That's what they want you to do. And as someone who has sold books for a living, I get it. But I'm telling you, if you know somebody that is a political junkie, send them the link to that show. Go to my YouTube, check it out. Or, on Apple, you can go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and send them the audio version, depending on how people get it. But, I love political books. I was shocked by that. I still wonder how many people knew what they knew and didn't say anything. At least that was going through my mind the whole time. Anyway, over the weekend, the president went down to the UFC. So he's in Palm Beach. The UFC fight is in Miami. He flies down. Now, here's where I know everybody loved watching. I mean, I got a lot of positive feedback from people saying, oh my God, look at him at this UFC fight and all the people that are with him. But he flies back on Air Force One. It's 2:15 in the morning. Your host here, Sean, has been asleep for like 4 hours, maybe longer. And the guy's doing a press conference on Air Force One at 2:15 in the morning. Take a look.
Hello, Kai. Come on over here. You know the fake news? This is the fake news.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How are you guys? Good morning.
Good morning. We're just doing a little news conference. You want to partake?
I mean, I'll add some stuff.
She's a great athlete, actually. Great golfer.
Yeah.
And great student, actually. So go ahead. Any other questions?
On Monday, you're having a meeting with the president of El Salvador.
Yes.
What do you want to achieve there? Do you have any concerns about that prison? People have said
No.
it has human rights abuses.
No, I think he's doing a fantastic job, and he's taking care of a lot of problems that we have that we really wouldn't be able to take care of from a cost standpoint. And he's doing he's been amazing. We have some very bad people in that prison, people that should have never been allowed into our country, people that murdered, drug dealers, some of the worst people on earth are in that prison, and he's able to do that.
Now, again, a couple things there. One, that's his granddaughter, Kai. She spoke at the Republican convention. Great, fantastic golfer, the daughter of his son, Don Jr., amazing young woman there. Obviously, you think, have you met the fake news? Here they are. It's 2:15 in the morning. I mean, literally, I got over the fact that he's having this dialogue about, tariffs and the president of El Salvador coming. The planes, by the way, you can hear the dings in the back. I love that about Air Force One. It doesn't matter. I mean, the plane could be landing. You could still be, this isn't a commercial jet. You stand up, walk around. But it was so funny just to see on a Saturday night. And remember during the Biden, they would it's called a lid, which is, that's the way of telling the press, hey, there's no more public events. The president's not going to speak anymore. And they would call them at like 11:30 in the morning. I was reading the reports, the press reports, and it says President Trump at 2:47 a.m. called a lid. 2:47 a.m. I'm like, and then by the way, he got up the next day and the motorcade rolled to his golf course at like 8 o'clock a.m. I mean, unreal. I need 8 hours of sleep. This guy's, jumping out of Air Force One, getting in the Mar-a-Lago, going to get back up a few hours later to go play golf. And by the way, he just had his physical and he's down like 20 pounds. He looks it. They released 3 pages of detailed records on his physical. Unbelievable. For all this talk, this is the contrast, by the way. I didn't need a physical, which I'm glad. I mean, it's 3 pages. I posted it to social media. If you want to go read it, check it out. But it's got all of his blood type and record, test results. But you watch that 2:15 a.m. press conference in Air Force One on a Saturday night, and you think to yourself, oh, for the last 4 years, we didn't know whether the president could make it up the small stairs. And if he was with it, yeah, we're back, baby. We're back. By the way, a little change in the White House decor was noted. The president hanging a picture of that assassination attempt where he's got his fist in the air and Secret Service agent Sean Curran is behind him. They put it in the White House hallway there. And Peter Baker of the New York Times tweets out, "President do not hang portraits of themselves on the state floor of the White House, where decorous portraits of predecessors are displayed after they leave office. But today, Trump hung a pop art painting of himself at Butler in a heroic pose." Actually, Peter, let me put this in a way that your liberal self will get. They, them, did, because he hung it. And I know that they're all outraged because he moved a portrait over Obama. He moved it. Portraits move. But he's so offended. The New York Times is so offended that he put a portrait of himself in the residence of the White House. Get over yourself, they, them, because he did hang it up. So apparently presidents do hang things in the White House. New York Times, get used to it. Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.